Hello friends, welcome to my channel Learning Electronics. In this video we are going to study about the triac, its working and characteristics. So before starting the video, please subscribe my channel and also press the bell icon so that you can get more updated videos from here. So triac stands for triode in AC because it works on AC signal. Triac is a member of thyristor family, therefore it is a power electronic device, and it is also a bipolar device like BJT, because in this device the current conduction is due to two types of charge carriers, that is electrons and holes like BJT. It is a bidirectional device because it conducts current in both the directions. It is similar to two back-to-back SCRs connected in anti-parallel fashion. Triacs can be triggered by positive as well as negative gate signal or gate voltage, and in SCRs we have already studied that once SCRs are triggered they continue to conduct even if the gate current is removed or gate signal is removed until the main current drops below a certain current level, that is called as holding current. So in triacs also the same phenomenon is seen. So this is the similarity between SCRs and triacs. Triac turns off when current through the main terminals becomes zero. It has three terminals, that is main terminal 1 empty 1, main terminal 2 empty 2 and gate terminal G. It has four quadrant operation, that is four modes of operation is there in triac. So quadrant 1 is the most sensitive, that is because least gate current is required in this mode of operation. This is first mode of operation, and in quadrant 4, that is fourth mode of operation, quadrant 4 operation is least sensitive because most of the gate current is required in this mode. Triac is commonly used for controlling the speed of universal motor, dimming lamps and controlling electric heaters. Triacs are available with voltage and current ratings of 1200 volt and 300 ampere RMS. Now let us see the construction of the triac. This is the three-dimensional schematic diagram of the triac. It has three terminals, that is main terminal 1 empty 2, main terminal 2 empty 2, main terminal 1 empty 1, main terminal 2 empty 2, and third one is gate terminal G. So here we can see that main terminal 1 is connected to two layers, that is N2 and P2 layer, and main terminal 2 is connected to two layers again, that is P1 and N4 layer, and gate terminal is connected here to P2 and N3 layers. So here MT1 and MT2 terminal are in the same side, whereas the MT2 terminal is opposite to that of these two gate and MT1 terminal. Next is circuit symbol of the triac. This is the circuit symbol of the triac with three terminals. MT1 and gate terminals are towards one side and opposite to that MT2 terminal exists. This is the two transistor analogy of the triac, which is very useful while studying the working of the triac. Now next is electrode potential combinations. Based on this we are going to see the working of the triac. So first mode of operation is, which is quadrant 1 operation, when MT2 is positive with respect to MT1 and gate is positive with respect to MT1. Second quadrant operation, that is second mode of operation, is when MT2 is positive and gate is negative with respect to MT1. Third mode of operation or quadrant 3 operation is MT2 is negative and gate is negative with respect to MT1, and fourth quadrant operation or fourth mode of operation is MT2 is negative and gate is positive with respect to MT1. So let us see the working of the triac based on these potential combinations. First one is mode 1, that is quadrant 1 operation. This is the schematic diagram of the mode 1 operation. In this, MT2 terminal is made positive with respect to MT1 and gate is positive with respect to MT1. So when first of all we make Mt2 positive with respect to Mt1. So what happens, junction J1 and J3 will be forward biased and junction J2 will be in reverse bias condition. So one thing we have to remember in the triac that always the current, the main current which flows through the device is always will be from Mt2 terminal to Mt1 terminal or Mt1 terminal to Mt2 terminal. So the current always flows between these two main terminals only. And the AC signal is applied between these main terminals, and one DC potential or DC battery is applied between gate and Mt1 terminal, as you can see in the diagram. So as I have told, as soon as we make Mt2 terminal positive with respect to Mt1, junction J1 and J3 will be forward bias and J2 will be in reverse bias condition. Now what happens when gate is made positive with respect to Mt1, then electrons are injected into this P2 layer through P2 N2 junction, means J1 junction. So what happens, as soon as the electrons are injected into the P2 layer, one current will flow, that is gate current will flow from gate terminal to Mt1 terminal through this P2 N2 junction shown by the white arrowhead here. Now with the injected electrons in the P2 layer, what happens here, the P2 layer has holes as majority charge carriers, but when electrons are injected in this, it has both holes and electrons as majority charge carriers, and it loses its identity as p region because of this. And here we already know that in N1 layer electrons are majority charge carriers, so this junction J2 will get disappear, and since junction J1 and J3 is already in forward bias condition, so our triac starts conducting through P1 N1 P2 N2 structure. So the current will flow from Mt2 terminal to Mt1 terminal shown by this orange arrowhead, as you can see in the diagram. So this is the first quadrant operation and is the most sensitive mode of operation, because here the gate current is injected directly into the base of one of the main device transistor. Means here when P1 N1 P2 N2 structure conducts, so this N1 P2 N2 act as one transistor structure, and here P1 N1 P2 act as another transistor structure. So when the gate is made positive with respect to Mt1, what happens, electrons are injected into the P2 layer. So this P2 layer is acting as a base of N2 P2 N1 transistor structure. So therefore, as gate current is directly injected into the base of this transistor structure, that is into P2 layer, this quadrant operation, first quadrant operation, is more sensitive or most sensitive among all the quadrant operations. So one question arises in the case of triac, that triac needs more gate current to turn on than SCR. So why this happens, as you can see in the diagram, when we make the gate made positive with respect to Mt1, the electrons are injected into the P2 layer. So when electrons are injected into the P2 layer, so one part of gate current will flow directly from gate to Mt1 terminal shown by this red arrowhead, and another part of gate current will flow from gate terminal to Mt1 terminal through P2 N2 junction or J1 junction. So because of this reason, triac needs more gate current than SCR to turn on. Now let us see mode 1 operation with the help of this two transistor analogy diagram. So when gate is made positive with respect to Mt1, we can see here this diagram. So when gate is made positive with respect to Mt1, so because of this gate drive, this transistor gets turned on because it gets base drive. So because of this gate signal applied, this transistor, that is N2 P2 N1, N2 P2 N1 will get base drive and it gets turned on, and because of this collector current flows in this collector of this transistor, and this collector acts as base to the this transistor, means which transistor? P2N1 P1 transistor, P2N1 P1 transistor. So this collector current will act as base current to this P2N1 P1 transistor, and it also gets turned on, and the current will start flow from empty 2 terminal to empty 1 terminal. So our main structure P1N1 P2N2 structure will start conduct. Now next one is mode 2 operation. What happens in mode 2 operation? Gate is made negative with respect to empty 1 and empty 2 is positive with respect to empty 1. So initially when empty 2 is positive with respect to empty 1, what happens? Junction J1 and J3 will be forward biased, and again J2 will be in reverse bias condition. So when we apply gate potential here between gate and empty 1, what happens? Electrons are injected from the gate terminal into P2 layer through P2 and 3 junction, that is J1 junction. So as soon as the electrons are injected into the P2 layer, one gate current will start flowing from the empty 1 terminal to gate terminal through P2 and 3 junction. So what happens? As soon as this gate current starts flowing, and we know that when electrons are injected, I have already told you, when electrons are injected into the P2 layer, what happens? This P2 layer loses its identity as P2 layer because it has both electrons and holes as majority charge carriers. So J2 junction will disappear. So because of this, P1N1, P2 and 3 structure will start conducting initially. So this is the initial conduction structure, that is P1N1, P2 and 3. Now what happens in this? When slowly the gate current starts increasing, what happens? The left side of the P2 layer, left side of the P2 layer below this gate terminal, the potential of this left side will increase towards empty 1 terminal. So there is a potential difference exists between these two sides, that is left side and right side of the P2 layer. One potential difference will exist, and because of this potential difference created, one current will flow from left side of the P2 layer to right side of the P2 layer, shown by this white arrowhead number 2. So this is the current which is established. Now what happens? Now as soon as this current starts flowing, this switches on one transistor, that is N1 P2 and 2 transistor will switch on, and when N1 P2 and 2 transistor will switch on, what happens? Some here again this N1 layer acts as base to another transistor, that is P2N1 P1 transistor structure. So one transistor structure is N2 P2N1, another transistor structure is P2N1 P1. Okay, so as soon as this transistor structure get turned on, this transistor structure will also turn on, because collector current will flow and collector current will switch on this transistor structure, that is P1N1 P2 transistor structure. So our final conduction will be from empty 2 terminal to empty 1 terminal through P1N1 P2N2 structure of the triac. So this is the mode 2 operation. And next one is mode 3 operation, that is quadrant 3 operation. Here the gate is made negative with respect to empty 1 and empty 2 is made negative with respect to empty 1. So what happens? Again J1 junction will be forward bias. So when gate potential is applied here, so electrons are injected into this P2 layer. As soon as the electrons are injected into this P2 layer, this P2 layer loses its identity and this J2 junction will disappear, and so because of this, our P1N1 P2 and 3 structure will conduct initially. Now what happens, some of the electrons which are entered into the P2 layer are recombined, but all the electrons are not recombined in the P2 layer and they escape to the N1 layer. So as soon as the electrons from the gate terminal enter into the N1 layer, the potential of the N1 layer will lower and it will act as base of one transistor, that is P2N1 P1 transistor. So this transistor will turn on as soon as these electrons enter into the N1 layer, and again they are collected by this P1 layer, and this is the collector for the P2N1 P1 transistor structure. So the potential or the voltage of this layer will increase and one more transistor structure will turn on, because this is the base of the N4 P1 N1 transistor structure. So our final conduction will be from empty 1 terminal to empty 2 terminal through the structure P2 N1 P1 N4 in the mode 3 operation. Now next one is mode 4 operation. In this, empty 2 terminal is made negative with respect to empty 1 and gate is made positive with respect to empty 1. So when gate is made positive with respect to empty 1, here the gate is made positive with respect to empty 1. So what happens, electrons are injected into the P2 layer through this empty 1 terminal. So as I have told you, this P2 layer will lose its identity as P2 layer because it has electrons and holes, both has majority charge carriers. So this J2 junction will disappear and our transistor structure P1N1 P2N2 will start conducting. Now what happens, the electrons, first the current, as soon as the electrons are injected into this P2 layer, one gate current will flow, shown by this first arrowhead, that is white arrowhead, from gate terminal to empty 1 terminal through P2 and 2 junction. So after the flow of this current, what happens, P1N1 P2N2 structure will conduct, and as I have told you earlier, as soon as the electrons are entered into the P2 layer, some of the electrons are recombined and some of the electrons are escaped to this N1 layer. What happens, N1 layer's potential will lower and one transistor structure, that is P2N1 P1 transistor structure, will turn on. Now these electrons again are collected by this P1 layer, because this P1 layer acts as collector for this P2N1 P1 transistor structure. Again this P1 layer is the base of the N1 P1 N4 transistor structure. So again this transistor structure, that is N4 P1 N1 transistor structure, will turn on. So because of this, the current starts flowing from empty 1 terminal to empty 2 terminal through P2 N1 P1 N4 structure. So our final conduction will be through P2 N1 P1 N4 structure, shown by this white arrowhead, as you can see in the diagram. So this is our final conduction from empty 1 terminal to empty 2 terminal. Current will flow in the fourth mode of operation. Now let us see the VI characteristics of the triac. These are the VI characteristics of the triac, which are similar to the characteristics of the SCR, but the characteristics are drawn for both positive MT2 and negative MT2 in the negative direction. This voltage VA is the anode voltage, which is voltage across the triac, and IA is the anode current which flows, which is the main current through the triac. So here we can see that after the breakover voltage is reached, then only current starts flowing in the triac, as similar to the SCR, and once the triac starts conducting, the voltage across the triac will reduce. Similarly, for the negative MT2, same characteristics will be drawn, and these both the characteristics curves are symmetrical to each other. Now let us see the advantages of triac. First one is the power delivered to the load can be controlled in both half cycles of the AC supply because it is a bidirectional device. Second point, it can be turned on by positive as well as negative gate signal or gate current. It is more economical than SCRs because it is equivalent to two SCR connected in anti-parallel fashion. Protection diodes across the device is not needed in triacs. Single heat sink is used only. It can control power delivered to AC loads such as fan motors. Next one is disadvantages of triac. It cannot be used as controlled rectifier. It has low dV by dt rating than SCR, so accidental turn on is higher than SCR. So snubber circuits are needed across the device. It has low di by dt rating. Next is only suitable for triacs are only suitable for resistive loads and not suitable for highly inductive loads. The power rating is lower than that of SCRs in the triacs, and the triggering circuit need to be designed very carefully in the triacs. Last one is applications of the triac. It is used as static switch, fan speed regulator, flasher circuit, temperature controller, in AC voltage stabilizer, and in lamp dimmer proximity detector. So these are the applications of the triac. So hope you have understood the topic of the triac. Thank you very much for watching, and please do subscribe my channel for more updates.